Folks, please go ahead and find your seats. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes. Thank you.
way more PMs in the afternoon. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's a thought. Yeah, yeah, that makes really good sense. All right, next year. We do. Huh? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes, definitely. Okay, everybody feeling good? Okay. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Bridget Fletcher. I'm the Managing Director for Graduate Student Programs and Services here at the Pratt School of Engineering. I'm excited to be a part of this celebration honoring the graduates from our Electrical and Computer Engineering Department today. It's my great pleasure to introduce the Vinnick Dean of Engineering, who will provide our welcome remarks, Jerome P. Lynch.
Good afternoon, graduates. So I'd like to begin by first saying a happy Mother's Day to all mothers and motherly figures in the audience. So happy Mother's Day. I'm Jerry Lynch, the Vinnick Dean of Engineering here at Duke, and it is an honor and a privilege to celebrate this amazing milestone with our graduates. Today, you are graduating from Duke University, ready to fearlessly take on the world. My colleagues and I have watched with awe and inspiration as this class has grown in our classrooms and labs, how you've overcome challenges and persevered during difficult moments, and how you have bonded together as a singular community. As we send you out to the world to live your dreams and to tackle the big problems worth solving, we could not be more proud of you. Of course, none of us make this journey alone, so let us take a moment to recognize the important cast of supporters that have helped you every step of the way on this journey. So I ask all family and friends to please stand, and I would like the graduates to thank all of those supporters that are here to celebrate today. Thank you. In case you haven't noticed, the handful of signs and banners hanging around campus throughout this year, we are celebrating the 100th birthday of Duke University. As graduates of the class of 2024, you all share a special place in the annals of history of this great institution as the 100th graduating class. Given our centennial, it's only fitting my brief remarks center on the Dukes themselves, not because they are the namesake of our university, but rather for the lessons that we can learn from them. The story of the Dukes of Durham is a true American story, a Horatio Alger tale of a self-made American family that rose from humble beginnings in Orange County, North Carolina, to be one of the wealthiest families in all of America by the turn of the 20th century. While there is a plethora of lessons that we can learn from the Dukes, there are a few I'd like to share with you today that are core to the very ethos of our community. While the story of the Duke family making their fortune in tobacco is well known, what is perhaps less known is how vital their embrace of technology and entrepreneurship was to their success. At a time when most tobacco was sold as loose leaf for pipes, James Buchanan Duke, also known as Buck, saw the opportunity to bring the convenience of cigarettes to the market. The only issue was the high cost of manually rolling cigarettes in a factory. In 1885, the Duke secured 2 machines from James Bonsack that could automate the rolling of cigarettes, with one machine producing cigarettes at a rate equivalent to 50 hand rollers. While this adroit adoption of technology in the form of automation was game-changing, what ensured it drove that Duke's success was their use of patents and the securing of exclusive rights from the Bonsack Machine Company that allowed them to always remain ahead of all of their competitors. The Duke's dominance of the tobacco industry through innovation and entrepreneurship is one of the earliest examples of the playbook we still use today for technology-driven enterprises. What is the lesson that we can take away from this? Do not be just great engineers. Rather, be great engineers whose entrepreneurial mindset unleashes the powers that you all possess. Build the business acumen needed to convert your creative ideas into viable market solutions that have real impact for people. In the Pratt School of Engineering, we use the phrase "in service to society" to define our unwavering belief in training the next generation of engineers who are socially minded to tackle big challenges that lead to a better society. We can trace this commitment to the Duke family. After achieving commercial success in tobacco, the Dukes sought to drive greater economic opportunity for the population of North Carolina by investing in the much-needed energy a growing state manufacturing sector needed to run its machines. James Buchanan Duke and his brother Benjamin led a massive initiative to construct dams and reservoirs all along the Catawba River in North Carolina's Piedmont region. In fact, Lake James is named after James Buchanan Duke for this monumental achievement. The Duke's dream of electrifying the region through hydropower was a bold idea poised for massive impact. The Duke brothers were fearless in pursuing them because they believed their ideas would transform the state and its communities. And indeed it did. The growth of the state, including the very existence of Charlotte as a major American city, is due in large part to the Duke's gift of regional energy. The lesson to be learned here is that Dukies should never shy away from tackling problems of their day. In fact, tackle them vigorously with the big and bold ideas that they demand. Be fearless in deploying them at scales that others would lack the courage to even try. If you do, I promise you that you will leave the world a much better place than you found it. Nearly 100 years ago, when James Buchanan Duke endowed Trinity College, he intentionally changed the name of the school to Duke University as a memorial to his father, Washington Duke. This act of familial love not only established the great university we call home, but in naming our university Duke, it expanded the very definition of the Duke family to ensure that it encompasses all of us. Hence, our strength and our greatness as a school is our sense of belonging to this Duke family. Family means working with shared purpose and supporting one another every step of the way. Especially as you tackle the truly grand challenges that lie ahead, you're going to need to support one another. As you strike success, invest in the next generation of the Duke family by giving generously back as the Dukes invested in all of us 100 years ago. I know each of you is capable of achieving incredible success in any endeavor that you may choose to pursue. It reminds me of the lyrics you Swifties will get. What's a girl gonna do? A diamond's gotta shine. Oh yes, and I've seen your shine, and it is what gives me and my colleagues great hope. As we tackle global problems like climate change, poverty, and global security, I know it will be the Dukies at the vanguard solving these seemingly intractable problems by deploying Duke-grown talent, grit, and passion. But no matter what lies ahead, just remember you are forever members of the Duke family. Being in this family carries responsibilities. Specifically, return the support you've so generously received when called upon. Also remember the social good when fulfilling your ambitions of becoming a great technologist or entrepreneur. And always give back to your communities whenever and wherever possible. Because at the end of the day, that's what your new degree is found on: innovation, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, and family. It's no mistake that both the lake and the university created by James Buchanan Duke bear the name of his family. It's emblematic of the love shared between an incredible family, a love and family that I am honored and privileged to welcome you all to as graduates. So, on behalf of the Pratt School of Engineering, a hearty, hearty, hearty congratulations to the class of 2024.
Thank you, Dean Lynch. We'll now have an opportunity to hear from our student speaker. At this time, I'd like to welcome Juncheng Liu to the front of the stage.
Thank you, Mrs. Fletcher, for the introduction. Good afternoon, professors, parents, and of course, our future scientists, engineers, and managers. I'm Liu Juncheng, also known as Jamie, a graduate student from ECE. It is a great honor to be here as the student representative to share some of my great memories with Duke. My story with Duke started at the age of 10. That's when I started to play basketball, and that's when I started dreaming about Duke. Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, Zion Williams, Brandon Ingram, and me, Jamie. I dreamed of wearing that blue and white jersey all the day. But my dream came true in another way. I became a Duke student. It seems like just yesterday, I received the admission letter from Duke, and yet here we are, sitting at the graduation with so many precious memories to cherish. Today, I would like to share some of my favorite moments with Duke. It was midnight. We were all working on our final project. The presentation was going to be at 10 a.m. the next morning, so everyone was testing and debugging their code. Suddenly, at 2 a.m., I heard a group celebrating. So I went to see what happened, and they said, "Yes, we put our new feature in the game, and it worked perfectly. We are almost done." 30 minutes later, the whole floor was so quiet that I thought I'd finished and leave. So I went to their room and checked what's going on. And I saw them still working, but it looks really sad. They said, "All right, we just found another bug," and the whole game just crashed. We should never open the champagne at halftime ever again. That night was just a snapshot of countless nights we spent in ECE. Lots of homework, lots of code, lots of bugs and issues. It was extremely stressful when we found an issue right before the deadline, and sometimes we needed to take the whole night to solve it. But what I enjoyed the most was the sense of accomplishment when we solved another problem. I loved the moment when I yelled out, "I am such a genius," every time when I fixed a bug, even though I was the exact idiot who created that bug. Thanks to the pressure that helped us to grow into who we are today, I'm glad that we all made it. Our long nights of coding together eventually became long days and nights of looking for a job. For software engineering students, having a good algorithm foundation is the key factor to finding a job, and a website named LeetCode is the best place to practice. So, back in 2022, I initiated a tough LeetCode study group. Why we named it tough? Because the route to stay in the group is that you have to solve one LeetCode problem every day, or you had to send a virtual red envelope, in other words, the real money, which the rest of us get to split. That was such a fulfilling time, even though we had to spare 1 or 2 hours a day from our heavy schedule. But with a group of friends, we motivated each other to make progress every day by making LeetCode part of our daily routine. This past year, I've seen many of my friends hitting multiple career fairs with resumes in hands just for a long shot chance. I've seen my roommates waking up at 2 a.m., 4 a.m. to take the interviews because of the time difference. We all know that we are facing an intense time on the job market, but we are all putting in our best efforts. There's an old Chinese proverb which says, 念念不忘，必有回响. What is meant for you will never pass you by. There is a life lesson, or we can say a mindset that I've learned during my graduate study. We all know it's a tough economy. We all know it's a tough job market. Tough times require tough decisions, and tough decisions sometimes lead to a lot of what-ifs. Sometimes we say, what if I took a gap year? The job market might be better. Or what if I started to apply jobs earlier? Maybe I can go to a bigger company. Life is not perfect, and there's always something that might not match our expectations. The point is, how we perceive the consequences really matters. We all have different plans after the graduation today, and they all have their advantages. If I'm going to work in a small company, that's great, because I can learn a lot more by taking more responsibilities. If I'm going to go for a PhD, that's great, because I can be an expert at the field I love. If I haven't decided my future yet, that's great, because I can take more time to think about what my future life should be, and the best is yet to come. I believe that every decision we've made is the best decision at that time. There are the unique marks that make us become who we are today, a shining and aspirational individuals that we should all be proud of. In conclusion, we are so lucky to graduate in the 100 years centennial of Duke. I really love what Ken Jones said in the centennial kickoff in January. He said, Duke is us, the people. Those of us here now, everyone who will help take Duke into the future, and those who lay the foundation of who we are today. We've seen the splendid history of Duke's previous 100 years, and now it's time to write down our own story to start the next 100 years of Duke's future. Thank you, Duke. Thank you, Pratt. Thank you, ECE. Thank you, professors. Thank you, my friends. Thanks to my family, mom and dad. Congratulations, class of 2024. We made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jun Chung. I'm pleased to share that we have a special guest with us today. Shirin Biswas is here to deliver the commencement message. Shirin is a 2015 graduate from Duke University, where he earned a master's in engineering management degree. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he works as a mechanical design engineer, managing the custom skid design and fabrication projects for Caratech Incorporated. He also leads their proprietary product line of seal pots. Outside of the engineering world, Shirin volunteers with a global network of nonprofit organizations called Mankind Projects, where his work is focused on creating a community where people practice self-care. Using his background in engineering and human-centered design, he has also created several self-help tools that teach people how to cope with stress, regulate emotions, manage conflict, and build self-care routines. In his free time, Shirin can be found painting, riding his motorcycle, and practicing martial arts. Please join me in welcoming Shirin to the stage.
Graduates, Jodi tor dak shone kyo na ashe, tobe ekla cholore. This is a Bengali verse written by Nobel Prize winner Rabindranath Tagore. Don't worry, the rest of the speech is going to be in English. This verse translates to, even if no one answers your call for help, you must still continue to walk your path by yourself. This is a choice that I have made consciously and subconsciously throughout my life, even when I was too young to understand it. When I was 7, I loved playing with toy trains. I had this green battery-operated toy train that I loved playing with. I would spend hours and hours on this. One day, the train engine stopped working. I replaced the batteries, but didn't work. So I smacked it a couple times, like I had seen adults smack TV remotes when it wasn't working. That didn't work either. When I reached out for help, my parents told me that they would buy me a new one for my birthday. Unacceptable. I wanted my toy train to work, the one that I was attached to, not a new one. I had a caretaker at the time, so I asked him to take me to an electronic repair shop. You know the kind of places that fix refrigerators and televisions? The electrician there told me toys like these broke often and cannot be fixed. Now I had given up. See if an electrician, whose sole purpose is to know how to fix things, cannot fix my toy train, then surely all hope is lost. I remember feeling so sad for several days after that. I did not know this at the time, but the grief was no longer about my toy train. It was about feeling let down by people who I thought were more capable than me, people who could help me. I did not like this feeling of helplessness. Not long after that, I remembered something. When I was at the repair shop, I saw that all the appliances were disassembled. And I thought to myself, so to fix something, I must open it up. Well, that makes sense, because I had seen doctors do the same thing to fix people on TV. So I grabbed some tools from Dad's cabinet and opened up my toy train and peeked inside. Of course, none of what was inside the toy made any sense to me. I was 7. So then I thought, if I open up another toy that is working fine, then I can compare the two and figure out what's missing in my train, and I can get it to work again. You know where this is going. I had opened up all of my toys. I was on a mission. And by the time I was done, not only did I fix my train, but I had taken parts from other toys and attached it to my toy train. So now I had a toy that moved forward, backward, and it had blinky lights all over it like a disco ball. I had a unique toy that no other kid on this planet had, and I had made that happen for myself. I felt so happy, so proud. I had faced what felt like the biggest challenge of my life at the time. I had reached out for help, but it wasn't answered the way I wanted to. But I continued to walk my path anyway, and it worked out better than I could have hoped for. There is something amazingly powerful about the perseverance and tenacity of a young child. We all have that superpower inside us, but it gets lost, worn, and tainted by the time we become adults. Today, I'm going to teach you how to reconnect with that inner superhero. Graduates, stand up for me, please, if you can. Keep your feet shoulder-width apart. Now take your hands, turn them into fists, and place the fists on your hips. Puff out your chest, take some space, and tilt your chin up a little bit. Now close your eyes, and think of a time in your childhood where you felt proud of yourself. Think of the earliest memory that you can think of. Remember, this has to be a time where you felt proud of yourself. Not your parents, not your teachers, but you. In this memory, you must have felt so strong, so powerful, even invincible or happy. Whatever the feelings you felt, allow yourself to feel those feelings now. Now take a deep breath, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Now open your eyes and take your seats. When no one answers your call for help, it's really difficult to pull yourself back up on your own. But you can do it if you can summon every last ounce of strength you have left in you. Next time you find yourself in a challenge, feeling lost, distraught, tired, do this exercise. Tap into the memory that you just discovered right now and remind yourself what you're made of. This exercise has helped me several times throughout my life. In 2018, I faced another challenge. At the time, I was working for a startup called LPMina. We built emission control systems for coal and gas-fired power plants. It was a lean company, but it was run by some of the smartest people I know. The emission control market was not having a great year at the time, so all of us were working on several strategies to keep the company alive. One Friday, our CEO announced that we had run out of funding. we were going to have to close the doors permanently. And at the close of business, all of our jobs would be terminated. I was heartbroken. But I didn't have time to grieve the loss of people I was working with or the projects that I was working on. You see, I was an immigrant here on a work visa, which meant that the moment my employment was terminated, I had 60 days to find another job. It had to be in my industry, it had to be relevant to my master's degree, and it had to be similar to my old job. If I couldn't, I would have to leave the US. Many of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you may have experienced this yourself, and many of you may even know someone who is going through this right now. Leaving the US to go back to your home, back to your family and friends, that doesn't sound so bad, does it? Until you think of all the hardships a person from other side of the planet must have gone through to get in the US in the first place. Fighting through the academic competition and getting accepted at a prestigious university with a low acceptance rate. Navigating financial struggles, and jumping through a maze of immigration laws and processes. All of that work would come undone. Unacceptable. I spent the next 60 days reaching out to my network and sending out resumes and cover letters. I drove hours and hours across cities to network with prospective employers. I would reach out to them and say, hey, I'm in your neighborhood this week, let's catch up for coffee. I don't even like drinking coffee. But I sent that to everyone across the US. I was in everyone's neighborhood ready for a quick chat. I had reached out for help, and I had started walking my path. I had 60 days to get to my destination. On day 42, I got my first offer letter. It felt like this was the first time since my termination that I had taken a full breath. The salary and benefits were what I wanted. The company was aware of my visa situation and they were willing to sponsor me. And they wanted me to start as soon as possible. They still had to get the visa paperwork in motion, but I was going to be able to start my job before my 60 days were up. I felt so relieved. The next few days, I worked with HR, exchanging information, filling out forms. Everything was on track. Then on a Wednesday, I noticed radio silence. I didn't hear anything from them, so I reached out to check. The next day, I get an email from the hiring manager saying that they had rescinded their offer and that they had decided to go in a different direction. This was day 48, 6 days since I had stopped going to interviews and stopped applying for jobs. My heart sank. My face felt red. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I didn't know this at the time, but I was having my first panic attack. I couldn't do anything the rest of the day. I didn't leave my house. I didn't talk to anyone. I couldn't even eat or sleep. I simply shut down. But next day, I got up and checked if I could attend any of the interviews that I had turned down last week. I reached out to my network and let them know that I was back in the job market. I had restarted walking my path again because I wasn't done yet. Spoiler alert, before the 60 days were up, I got a job doing product design and marketing in a startup in Charlotte. How did I land this job? I had met the CEO and founder of this company a few months ago on LinkedIn. His name is John Gorniak, and I had helped him with the pro bono project that required some tinkering skills. John was growing his company at the time, so he decided to bring me on board to help him grow the business. I had fixed my toy train again. But this time I didn't do it alone. There were so many people who helped me through it. My former boss at LPMINA, Matt Zedler, who is also a Duke alum, he put me in touch with several hiring managers. Our very own Jenny Johnson from Career Services, she was with me from day one. Bridget Fletcher, Susan Brown, who were with the MEN department at the time, my dad, my friends from the class of 2015, my friends at LPMINA, my Sifu, who teaches me Kung Fu, and of course, Sean, who hired me. They all helped me cross the finish line in time. I used to think that I must always fight my battles by myself, but that's not true at all. Sure, I may be alone when I start my journey, but eventually I'll have an army of people who will help me get to the other side. This incident in 2018 was not the last challenge I had with immigration. I had a similar challenge last year, but even then, there were a plethora of people who helped me through it. Dave Webster, the president at Kerotech, that's the company where I currently work. Scott Rice, my manager. My dad. My friends at Kerotech. And even my martial arts coach, Ryan Hoover, he reached out and put me in touch with people who could help. So remember this, when no one answers your call for help, you must continue walking your path by yourself. But know that you won't be alone for long. Help will arrive in time, in more ways than you can think of. A few years ago, I had another broken toy train on my hands. But this time, the toy train was me. In the summer of 2020, I had to make several lifestyle changes. You know what I'm talking about. I had to stop going to martial arts, stop going to meetups, stop socializing with people, and basically maintain physical and social distance from everyone in my life. I had battled with depression for a long time, but this time it felt like depression was winning. I was going to therapy. I was reading all these books by Maya Angelou and Brené Brown. I was listening to podcasts by Jay Shetty and Tom Bilyeu. All of these solutions seemed to be working for everyone else but me. Unacceptable. So then I thought, what if I find someone who is working fine, and I peek inside their head and compare the two and figure out what's missing in mine, and then I can make myself okay again. I mean, this strategy worked great the first time. Why not again? So I spent the rest of 2020 reaching out to entrepreneurs in the mental health space. I'm talking leaders who lead support circles, psychologists who had created rehab programs for the mental well-being, and just general people who I thought were wiser than me. By the end of it, I had created a diagnostic tool, a mental process that combined meditation and self-reflection. This tool helped me get out of my depressive period. Since then, I've been volunteering with the Mankind Project, sharing my learnings and discoveries with people who need it. But the biggest gift out of that time in my life was that I had discovered I had a hidden talent for listening and for navigating mental health. This is the time of my life where I learned the third big life lesson. When I feel stuck, it's okay to allow myself to rest. Graduates, I'm going to teach you another trick. Stay seated this time, but close your eyes. Take your right hand and place it on your heart. For the most of us, the heart is on the left side, but if you know your heart is on the other side, feel free to put it on the right. Now take a deep breath in through your nose and into your belly. When you inhale, feel your belly rise. And when you exhale, squeeze every last molecule of air out, making space for the next breath. Do this for a few breaths. Now think of a time in your childhood where you felt safe, a time where you felt supported and loved. Allow your mind to wander into this memory and allow yourself to feel the feelings of safety right now. Now take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Open your eyes and relax your hands. When you leave here today and get out into the outside world as individuals and adults and graduates, I know that you're going to face a lot of tough challenges. I know this because you're all 20-somethings who are graduating with a master's degree from Duke University. To accomplish something so big, so young, you have to be the kind of person who loves taking challenges and taming them. I'm not saying people who don't graduate with masters from Duke are not hardworking. They are, and you're going to meet them out there, and you're going to have to compete with them. And even when life isn't hard and everything's going smooth, I know you're going to go out of your way to seek those challenges yourself, because that's the kind of person you are, and it's an inspiring quality to have. Just remember this, when you feel stuck, It's okay to take pause. When you feel tired and lost, do this exercise that we just did. Allow yourself to feel safe. Tap into this memory. I promise you, you will go much farther if you allow yourself to rest when you need it. I've shared a lot of stories here today. I don't expect you to remember all of them, but I want you to remember 3 things. 1, start your journey today. Start walking your path even if you're alone. 2, know it in your heart that you won't be alone for long. Eventually, help will arrive in more ways than you can imagine. And 3, when you need it, allow yourself to rest without judging yourself for being weak or lazy. If you can remember these 3 things as you go out and build your unique life, just like I built my unique toy train, now that's acceptable. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sheeran. It's now my pleasure to introduce Professor Drew Hilton. Professor Hilton is a professor of the practice and director of innovation and computing education. He has had the great pleasure of teaching and mentoring many of these students through their program and would like to share a few words. Please join me in welcoming Drew to the stage.
Hello, everyone. They apparently don't make these for my height. Before I give my speech, we have a few awards to give from the department. And I'd like to say, I know all of you have worked very hard, done very well. Some of you have just some outstanding academic progress. Many of you have finished with a 4.0 or near a 4.0. But these students we're giving an award to not only have a 4.0 GPA, but have 6 or 7 A pluses. So just think about how impressive that is. And so join me in congratulating these recipients. And when I call you, if you can just come up and get your certificate. Shinming Chen, Jude Alness, Janice Chen, Zhu An, and Yuchen Zhang. All right. Man, okay. Let me just start by saying I am so proud of all of you and how much you've learned and accomplished over the 2 years that you've been here. I want you all to take a moment to think back to when you first showed up and how what was so challenging then is so routine and easy now. If you were to go back to your 551 assignments, I bet you could just blow through those in no time, right? As you think back, you will realize that you've learned so much. Some of you came to us with little or no prior software experience, but are leaving having written compilers, kernel modules, and large-scale server software. The fact that you can learn so much in these 2 years is a testament to your hard work, tenacity, and intelligence. I know it hasn't always been easy either. In fact, I know it has often been quite hard. You have so much work to do, not enough hours in the day, and so many difficult things to learn well. Yet you all found a way to manage it, get all those assignments done, study for the test, and still even find some time to eat and maybe even sleep. Or maybe not, who knows. In some ways, this is the best training we can give you for the real world, since it turns out that you will probably have too few hours in the day at your job too. Now, among all of this, I want to take a moment to reiterate one of the first lessons I taught you all in the first days of 551. Bad engineering kills people. Now you might think, Drew, graduation is a happy time. Why remind us of such a grim lesson? Well, first, this is a happy message because the flip side of it is that good engineering does wonderful things. Having trained many of you, I know that you're going to go off and do great engineering that will accomplish wonderful things for the world. You aren't going to write bad code. You aren't going to skimp on your test cases. You'll write software or design systems that are robust, well-tested, and work under even the most dire of circumstances. And second, this is the last time I get to give you all advice all at once, so I want to use it to reiterate the most important things. This lesson is even more important today than ever. If you look around, software is flying airplanes, driving cars. You probably see in the news when Tesla's autopilot software causes some crash on the interstate. And over the course of your career, you may face pressure to rush software out the door, to not worry about what happens if two sensors disagree, to not bother testing the complicated cases. But you all know better. You know not only how to engineer and test robust systems, but that you must. And if ever you face this pressure, think back to this day and remember my advice. Now, I know that this can be difficult, so I want you to remember the other lesson I taught you at the start of 551. Discipline under pressure. When things are difficult, when the deadline is fast approaching and you still need to get things to work, when that bug is too hard to find, these are the times when it is most important to stay calm, focus, and do things correctly as you have learned. Of course, this is what you will do. You are now experts in your field and ready to do awesome things. You'll design and build amazing things, whether they are software, machine learning algorithms, hardware, or whichever subfield of ECE you're in. I expect to hear about the great things from you all. Whether you come back to visit Duke, stop by to see me, or just send me an email, or if I read about you in the newspaper and your amazing startup, technology, or accomplishment. Wherever you all go, you will always be my students, and I want you to succeed at any goals you might have. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and congratulate you once again on your amazing accomplishments.
Thank you, Professor Hilton. I'll now be inviting our graduates to the stage where they will be hooded by a faculty member from their program and congratulated by another faculty. Family and friends, while all graduates are listed in the virtual program in alphabetical order, that is not the order in which they are seated and will cross the stage. Graduates, please remain seated until your row is directed to rise. As you leave your seat, make sure you exit your row with your name card and hood draped over your arm. You will return to the same seat after you cross the stage so all belongings can remain right where they are. Marcy Pacino from our Graduate Communications and Intercultural Programs team will be reading the names of our graduates.
Jun Cheng Liu. Yu Yang Kao. Yu Shen Zhang. Zhao Jingzhi. Enzi Shi. Elaine Guo. Rolin Xu. Caroline Chen. James Huang. Pu Yang Xu. Zhi Hao Zi. Tian Shu Yu. Andres Caicedo. Changdi Chen. Xingqi Chen. Yadong Hu. Shi Niam. Sultan Al-Shireh. Yang Shu. Fan Yang. Jian Shao. Shin Meng Chun, Ray Fan, Zhi Yue Feng, Manith Luthria, John Parker, Mac Gray, Wilkin Yuan, Rolin Meng, Fu Chuanzhi, Yang Chang Liu, Ziying Huang, Ba He, Kai Liang Nan, Yang O Yang, Kevin Shun, Da Rei Lu, Yi Yang Sun, Tang Zhenge, Jin Cheng He, Zhou An, Thwisha Nyander. Meda Srinivasan. Da Shui. Shu Han. Mingzhe Zhang. Shi Wenshen. Wang Haotian. Pan Shiyang. Jia Junyu. Yaling Tsai. Hey Leona Moonhu, sorry. Kashav Kasliwa. Maya Muddy. Shravan Mysore Sitharam. Dev J. Patel. Kaushik Anareddy Srinath. Aditya Verma. Jude Aunas. Yasuswini Kalaru. Xiao Yuan Chen. Zemin Li. Priya Lakshmi Ruthanovelu. Jiaxin Sui. Yu Wu. Ali Zhou. Xin Cheng Zhang. Han Ming Ye. Kiyo Wu. Eric Anthony Johnson Greer. Si Yuan Li. Doyen Solami Samuel Olawe. Julia Liu Yang. Runya Liu. Pei Yun Yun. Ray Cao. Yuan Jia Wang. Yi Yang Li. Xin Yi Li. Xin Yue Li. Junhan Xiu. Yuhan Shui. Hei Yang Zhang. Emma Kate Nisbet. Hao Yu Fu. Xiao Rong Ma. Xin Tong O. Meng Han Du. Yun Zi Zhang. Qing Qian Wang. Zishuan Chen. Tiffany Lin. Chung Chan Isaac Wang. Yuan Cao. Sharon Ma. Wenjuo Wu. Liu Sun. Yu Guo Wang. Kai Jian Huang. Huan Fei Huang. Yu Wen Cai. Zhi Chuan Guo. Yun Jia Liu. Jian Wang Liu. Yue Yin Su. Zai Ang Sheng. Lu Xin Zhang. Zilin Shu. Shang Hui Yin. Zheng Guo Wang. Yang Yi Lin. Yue Ting Luo. Hao Yan Li. Shui Sen Wen. Shi Chu Xiao. Yi Chen Huang. Shen Zhihang. Nigel Malaba. Murabi Kakabalo. Wu Xuan Chen. Yifan Jiang. Yishin Sao. Ding Yuxin. Ray Chem. Yue Deng. Xiaozhe Cheng. Yu Cheng Yang. Mu Tianling. Toby Tao. Tianji Jiang. Shuhao Jeremy Zhang. Jiaoyang Chen. Zhao Junyi. Ziyu Shi. Jeff Fan. Xin Shu, Rui Zihan, Hui Dan Tan, Zhe Cheng Dong, Xie Ziye, Ling Ke Li, Yo Sha Wang, Suo Chen, Jin Yan Shu, Xiao Yu Wang, Ziyi Zhang, Fei Yang Yu, Chen Jie Yang, Wang Jing, Xing Yu Zhang, Bei Bei Shu, Yu Xiang,
How about one more round of applause for all of our graduates? I'd now like to ask our Associate Dean for Master's Programs, Brad Fox, to deliver some closing remarks. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Fox.
Thank you, Bridget. To the students, congratulations on your hard work to be a graduate of Duke University. This is an outstanding accomplishment, and you should be proud. Welcome to the Duke family. So as you leave Duke University and start the next phase of your life, I wanted to share with you 3 perspectives based on my career. I hope they will help you. The first is, have a plan. Know who you are and where you want to go and what you want to do. This is not your friend's plan. It's not your parents' plan. It is your plan on how you want to make a difference in the world. The second item, may sound counter to the first and is attributed to Dwight Eisenhower. Plans are worthless. But planning is everything, okay? And so the idea here is that it is important to know where you want to go, but sometimes your path or your destination may change. That's fine. Don't be afraid to make changes into your plans as you go along, right? That's why plans are worthless, but planning is everything. Situations change, and so should your goals. Let me talk to you a little bit about my career. So after graduate school, my aspirations were to be a chief technology officer. I never really wanted to be a CEO. If you know me and my strengths, it's just not really where my strengths are. But I did want to be a CTO. I worked for IBM, Kobe Steel, and General Electric after completing my degree. And through these experiences, I realized the commitment that it took to get to these senior leadership roles. Senior leaders were expected to have a bag packed at all times. They boasted about spending Christmas holiday landing a new deal or addressing a catastrophe. I recall a comment that Jeff Immelt made after being named CEO. They were doing an interview with him a year after being on the job and relocating to Connecticut. The interview kind of wanted to talk about both his on-the-job and off-the-job experiences. And so one of the things they asked him was, how do you like your new house? And his response was that he hadn't spent much time there. He was on the road over 300 days in the last year as the new CEO for GE. This was an eye-opening statement for me. It changed my perspective. It changed my goals. For me and my family, this is not a commitment that I would want to make. So as you go through your career, you're going to learn more about yourself, about your skills, about what you like and what you do not like. And it's very likely that your plan when you were in your 20s is going to differ from the plan when you're in your 30s or when you're in your 40s. That is fine. That is growth. Plans are worthless. Planning is everything. The last item I'd like to talk to you about is making career decisions. I think a lot of students really stress over a career decision that they make. And from my perspective, in life, there are really two kinds of decisions. The first kind is a right and a wrong decision. And these can typically be quantified through analysis where you have clarity on the appropriate choice. Most career decisions are not right or wrong decisions. Which role should I take? Do I change companies? There's not really a formula that you can use to make these sorts of decisions. These are more an option decision than a right and a wrong decision. I like to think of them as cake or pie decisions. I like cake. I also like pie. Both outcomes are positive. I'm just trying to assess which one I prefer. So let me tell you about one of my cake or pie decisions. My first job after earning my material science degree was with IBM developing memory chips. 2 years into that job, IBM announced that they were manufacturing group. This caused considerable soul searching for me. My heart was in development. I went to graduate school. I earned a PhD to do development work. I was faced with a career decision. Should I stay or should I leave? I chose to leave. But that's not the end of the story. I followed the semiconductor industry for the next decade or so, and 3 out of the 4 major materials-related developments for silicon electronics came out of IBM. In fact, I was working on one of those projects when I left. You cannot predict the future. I certainly did not correctly predict the future of development work at IBM, and it was fair to say that I was wrong about the development work at IBM. But was it a wrong decision? I don't think so. Staying at IBM would have been cake. I chose pie. I chose to go a different route. And I'm pleased with that route and where I am and what I've been able to do since leaving IBM. I think we worry too much about these types of career decisions. My advice is when you're faced with these decisions, make the best decisions you can with the information that you have available to you. and pursue that path with all of your efforts. Even if you do not correctly predict the future, which I didn't, you can be successful on the path you take. We are excited that you're graduating and embarking on your career to make a difference in the world. My advice to you is these three things. Have a plan, know who you are and where you want to go. Be willing to change that plan as your perspective change. And finally, don't stress over these cake or pie decisions. Make the best decision you can and then put all your efforts into being successful. So again, I want to offer my congratulations to all of our graduates and look forward to celebrating your successes. I wish you the best, and go Duke.
Thank you, Dr. Fox. This concludes our ceremony. In a moment, I'll ask our first row of graduates to stand in recess out of the theater row by row. Once our graduates have all exited the theater, we invite our guests to please follow. If your schedule allows, join us at the Fitzpatrick Center, where we'll have a light reception set up as an opportunity for graduates, guests, and faculty to gather and celebrate together. Thank you so much for being here today. One more round of applause as our first row stands.